we're capable of a lot more than what we think we are.
This is Tabitha, my friend and neighbor in Alaska.
This is my shower. It's very rustic. We have a total of 33 dogs here on the premises that I take care of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year.
It's like having cows.
Yes, we have a dog farm.
Hey, how you doing?
I welcome people in the summer and in the winter to come and view the dogs, to learn the history of dog sledding and what this lifestyle is all about.
We're going to tour Tabitha's homestead and also take a look at her dome. Yep, she lives in a dome in Alaska.
All right.
And then she's going to show us her latest project. She's building her very own log cabin.
Just a feeling of being more in the woods.
So what does it feel like when you look in here? You got to be pretty proud of yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, every one of these little Lincoln logs that went up, this is fun.
I'm so excited today to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, Tabitha. I want to show you all of the amazing things that she's doing here. Last year, as I would drive by, there used to be a cabin here, and now there's not. So tell us what happened with your old cabin.
So I found this old sliver of a homestead about 5 years ago. And with that came this beautiful 24 by 36 cabin. This cabin was here. It was built in the early 1970s. It was livable for a number of years until some of the foundation started to give out. So the idea came to tear it down. I put out an ad and had friends and acquaintances come and salvage anything that they could. The foundation was not built correctly. They put one whole side of the cabin laying directly on the ground. And so unfortunately it had to go, and some friends came and we used their school bus to tear this down.
Yes!
We hooked a couple of tow ropes to it. We used the school bus, and down it came piece by piece. So it's been in the months, it's been about, 8-9 months. It's taken me piece by piece, screw by screw, dismantling this thing. And then the question was, after that, where do we go? Because we just tore down our home. Well, luckily enough, we had built a geodesic dome on the property 2 years prior, and it was livable. So I had to do a few things to the dome, beef up the insulation, patch up a couple of holes, and there we go.
Oh, I love it already. I so want to build a dome. It's on my list. It's on the short list of builds. You do dog sled
correct.
tours.
Yes. This dome was used primarily as a tour shack before we had to use it as living quarters. And so it is totally livable. It's habitable. It stays warm in the winter. I get all of the questions.
Yeah, I mean, I would drive by going, are you living in that in the wintertime?
Yes.
So that's why I'm here. I mean, this is super interesting. So let's have a tour.
Okay, great.
All right. Oh, wow. Totally. This is awesome. This is super cool. So excited about seeing your dome. So tell me all about
Yes.
it. Like, this is cool.
So what this is a 22-foot diameter geodesic dome. It is 1-inch metal conduit formed and shaped with an outer coating of fire-resistant vinyl. Inside of that, how we insulate this and how we keep this warm is we have about 2 inches of spray foam. So totally handmade. The platform plus a lot of the wood that you see in here was locally sourced and milled with our sawmill in the backyard. Hence the trees, as you can see, the trees are the posts that we're using as the posts of the loft upstairs. So it's lofted. This is enough space for a couple of people, and we're comfortable. I mean, we have everything that we need in here. We're dry, we're warm. We have a mini kitchenette. And then as far as headspace goes, I think we're just about 15 feet.
Wow.
From top to bottom.
Cool. So there's tons of room up there.
We're able to stand up there.
Yeah. Oh, you still have a ferret?
There's 2 ferrets.
You still have ferrets? I babysat Tabitha's ferret one time.
Shh, miss.
Ah.
Come on, honey.
Hi.
There you go.
Oh, there's the other one. Hi. How you doing?
She's like, I know there's people here.
Hi.
This is Brownie,
Brownie. And who's this one?
and that's Snowflake.
Oh. Oh.
And they're sisters.
Oh, they're so sweet. I can't believe you still have ferrets. That's amazing.
These little doves.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're sweet little girls. They're about 2 years old now.
Aw.
So they're fairly young.
So electricity is a game changer.
Electricity is a total game changer. I did off-grid for 14 years, and I can say that I experienced it. I'm very well versed. Would I go back? Absolutely, given the right situation. A lot of Alaska is really, really remote, and to get any further, then you're going to have to be off-grid.
Yeah.
And that's just normal.
Yeah, this is awesome. What I'm impressed with is of course the lights help, but there's plenty of light in here. It's actually very nice. Like you thought, I would think it would be dark. You just don't really know what you don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of people have, I think, some misconceptions of domes that maybe they're cold and they're dark and they're scary and there's spiders in every corner and whatnot. But we were able to find a couple different types of fire retardant vinyl. And so we mixed those when initially building this dome, and one of those is clear. So we're able to make these windows to let a little bit more of the light in.
And how does that do in the winter? Do you feel like you get a lot of bleed through that? I mean,
yes.
Obviously it's just a piece of vinyl.
Yes.
So, but you're compensating with an extra wood stove, and you got to have some windows. So there's
there's got to be light, and absolutely. So what I'll find, and what I took a picture of it. We accumulate about an inch of ice. Honestly, we accumulate about an inch of ice on that, and it becomes like apocalyptic looking, but at the same time, I really feel like it gives a thermal barrier to the outside, just having that ice. There are a number of geodesic domes in Alaska, around the world, and I think that they all have the same issues with condensation and icing. So living in this environment, having this, it's been a learning process for sure. And condensation is just one of those things that we have to deal with. So having a dehumidifier is a game changer too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. There is no running water here in the dome. And so what that means is that everything is pretty much carried in and carried out. So I carry the water in 5-gallon jugs, and then I have a little container on a shelf that holds drinking water. As far as anything else, with the dogs and whatnot, all of that is hauled as well, and that is stored outside. So what I can say is that I have a pretty good idea of how much I consume and how much I carry and how many pounds that is. In the wintertime, we haul just about every 3 days, about 450 pounds of water. So that just gives you an idea. As far as heat, electricity, that sort of thing, starting with the heating elements in here, recently it was off grid, and then we were able to get electricity to this dome, which is a really big deal because I was off grid for about 14 years. And this is one of the first experiences with electricity that I've had in about 14 years. So it's big. It's definitely a nice touch to be able to come in and have it be warm when you open up a door. That being said, with the heat, there is a Toyo stove. They're very common here in Alaska. To supplement when we get down to about the -10 to -40 range, there is a wood stove when the temperatures dip like that. And so between those two heat sources, I can keep the average ambient temperature in here about 72 to 75 degrees, which when you contrast that to outside, if it's about -40, it's a really big difference. But I like to stay warm because I spend a lot of time outside every day, about 5 hours-ish in the wintertime, despite whatever temperature it is, because of sled dogs.
Yeah, this is lovely.
Simple.
I'm sure with the twinkly lights and everything, like it's wonderful. I love it.
It adds to the ambiance, and especially when we get so much darkness in the wintertime.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cozy. A lot of people come in and a lot of people visit, and they're like, "This is really cozy. We didn't expect this."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, it's
homey.
We've got everything.
Yeah.
We've got everything that we need."
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not everything we want, but we've got everything we need.
That's awesome.
So I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
So there's a propane stove to cook on. It's a normal size range, and then there's an oven. I just made, banana bread and quiche this morning. And then as far as refrigerator, that's a completely new concept and idea. 14 years without refrigeration and nothing to freeze anything in the summertime. Big deal. It's a big deal.
Totally.
But we made by. It was great. It was a great experience.
It's a lovely porch. Really nice. And you just built this fence this year too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I talk about recycled materials and whatnot from the cabin, all of these posts that are used for the fence are the old cabin logs. And then I was able to recycle some of the 2x6s, and then some of this tin is roofing that was recycled as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we going now?
Okay, so we're gonna go take a look at the new cabin building site. This is one of the projects that I've been working on for about 3 weeks.
What is the acreage you have here?
So this parcel is a 5-acre parcel that was traded in the 1970s for a car. It was a part of about 180 so acre homestead, and they traded this 5 acres for a car.
Wow. So you had to clear this to open this up, and obviously put gravel here. This looked like a huge job, just this. Like, look at this. This is a lot of material.
Yeah, so this is part, this thoroughfare was created over the Davidson ditch. I rented a skid steer, and I opened this just a little bit to make it so that, you know, what was here, 30 years ago was all completely covered in trees. So let's just open this up a bit so that we're able to access this area easily.
Oh my goodness.
I did a lot of dirt work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a really lovely setting in here. I really like it.
Yeah, so what we've got on this side of the property, we've got just a little bit more privacy. There's more trees here. It gives you just a little bit more shade and just a feeling of being more in the woods.
This is amazing. So what is the size here? And tell me about, looks like you're using 3-sided logs. And where'd you get them and all the things? And you're doing this completely yourself, so it's so exciting.
So what we have here is a 12x16 cabin. And a long time ago, when I had envisioned my life, I don't know if I necessarily saw myself, taking the ambition to try and build something like this solo. But here we are, and I was able to source out a lot of the lumber and the logs from a friend within about 50 miles of Fairbanks. And what that did was that saved me time and materials and doing this with the sawmill here.
Nice.
Because everything in Alaska, we get 3 months of building. That's it. That's all we have.
I know.
So we have to do things quick. I know there's 4 more logs that need to go up before the ridge pole for the roof goes on. So we're so close to having a roof on this, and I believe that's probably going to happen within the next 4 to 5 days.
Awesome. And so are you going to have a loft in this?
This is going to be lofted.
Okay.
So 12x16 cabin, 3-sided spruce logs, joined with screws.
Yeah, log screws.
Log screws.
Yep. And I see
very simple.
Yeah, you're using just the sill insulation. And what are you going to do for chinking?
For chinking, I'm probably going to go with permachink.
Yeah.
And that seems to be one of the easiest options to go with. And I'm hoping that we get enough time and the temperature holds out.
Yes.
All I need is another 3 weeks.
Yes.
And I think we're sitting pretty good with this. Okay, so welcome. Here we are. And the question is probably, how do you get in and out of this thing? Well, you have to do a few yoga moves at this point.
Yes.
So I've done a lot of different things. Last night, what you're seeing here is the effects of a windstorm. We had about 40-mile-an-hour winds, and while I had this tacked up really nice, see?
Got me.
Careful. It blew everything down, and that is just one of the things that we have to deal with when we're building in Alaska.
That's right.
Okay.
It's lovely. It's going to be so nice. And you know what I love? The smell, and
it's fresh, and just simply putting at it, once you take this stuff down and you grind it,
beautiful.
it's so smooth.
Oh, nice big windows. And so what is what do you envision here for a layout? Is this going to be windows or doors?
These are 2 windows
Okay.
that I have on order right now, and they're 3 foot by 6 foot.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of that, we'll have 2 smaller windows.
Right.
And those 2 smaller windows will go, another quarter of the way up the beam right here. I was able to install this beam by myself.
Oh my goodness, those are so freaking heavy.
Yeah, and so it was a test of will.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all of the building, when you're doing things by yourself, you have to be very creative, and you have to come up with solutions that you wouldn't normally have to come up with if you were, you had a crew of men or multiple people. We'll just put it that way. But yeah, so 2 big windows. Turning around, we have 2 windows on either side. The door will be over on the right-hand side. The loft will be a 3/4 loft, and that will have, probably about 4 to 5 feet of headspace in there. So
That's going to be a high peak.
It's going to be a high peak.
Yeah.
And that's what I envision.
That's awesome.
So I have a sauna or a banya that I'm building over there, and that's about halfway done.
Ooh.
And so the distance from the cabin to the sauna, we call it banya when I used to live in Kodiak, so I got kind of used to that. But the banya sauna will be over there. So just a short distance to go over in the wintertime and enjoy something like that. Yeah, the railroad is what you're seeing right there, that flat section.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes. So the Tanana Valley Railroad had about 30 miles of track. So what we have on this piece of property is a lot of history. There's a lot of history with the Gold Rush era, the Tanana Valley Railroad. The Davidson Ditch was a part of the Gold Rush era as well. Construction of it was supervised by dog sled. And who did that was Leonard Seppala. And Leonard Seppala is so well known because he helped in 1925 with the diphtheria run to Nome. So Balto,
wow.
I like to say that Balto, Togo, all of those prominent dogs
Ran through
have
your
run
property.
through the yard. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
just
super
a huge
cool.
piece of history right here.
Yeah. This is going to be your sauna.
This is a sauna.
So what did you call it?
I called it a banya.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, so it might be like eludic type language, but in Kodiak, Southeast Alaska, they always call them banyas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right there. It's going to be so nice.
So close.
Yeah.
So construction season is in full swing.
It never ends,
the rush is on.
Tabitha. It never ends.
The rush is on.
Yes, it's panic season officially. I
The
know
leaves
there's
are starting to change.
I know. I'm like,
and-
everything is starting to yellow up, and it's like definitely panic season.
But you know what? That's good. That's good. And it's good to be ambitious. It's good to try and get as much done as possible. And this is why we live up here. We live up here because we want to experience this. We want to be handy. We want to do things with our hands. And yeah, I mean, it's great. This is the Alaskan lifestyle.
What kind of advice do you give to somebody who says, well, that's you have all this off-grid experience, you have all of this knowledge in Alaska, but I don't think I could do this? And if you don't mind saying, how old are you, Tabitha?
So I am 43 years young.
Yes.
And I like to say 43 years young. I started doing all of this around, I've been working and living and doing all this for, over 20 years or so, but everyone has to start somewhere. So I feel like if you have an idea and it sparks a little flame and you have the ambition, you can read a book, you can watch a movie. The best experience is talking to people and getting your hands on something. So volunteering. I don't think that there should be a limit to what you think that you can do, because if you think about it, ingenuity, we're capable of a lot more than what we think we are. And that goes for strength as well. Me lifting, a 200-pound log over through a window and up about, 10 feet or so, it might seem impossible at first, but then when you think through it a little bit, it's totally feasible.
So as a mother of two girls, what do you think, how important is it for you to be that kind of a role model for your girls?
I feel like we set the precedence. My daughters are watching, what was one 2x6 or one railroad tie turn into something like a building. My 6-year-old, she goes, as soon as we started to get about 3-4 feet up, she goes, oh my gosh, look at this. And she started to get excited. She goes, wow, this is going to turn into a little home. And she goes, is this going to be our home? And I said, you know what? This is going to be our winter home here, and it's going to be super cozy. We'll have a little wood stove. We can look out the windows. We can have hot cocoa. Like, she's looking forward to all of these things. So it's fun, and we want to have fun. And, I really do think it's important to have kids be involved in stuff like this. The 6-year-old Marabella, she's helped screw some of the logs together. Her job was to help with, putting the insulation in between the logs. She's been here, from the platform going up, and it's been a good experience for her, for sure. Girls can do it too, right?
Absolutely.
This is the storage area, and this is where all of the dog supplies are kept. There's 33 dogs here, so I have a lot of stuff. And then we're mushing, and so we have all this mushing stuff. We have all this dog food. I'm gonna go pick up 50 bags of dog food on Monday, and they're all gonna be stored in here. And then the littles are over there.
Hi, little babies. Hey. How you doing?
So what kind of dogs do you mainly run, Tabitha?
So what we try to focus on here, Inuit dog.
Yeah, they're huge. These your winter trail right here?
Yep, so there's a number of trails that go right out of the backyard. We're able to leave, and yeah, it's really nice. This is prime real estate for having anything mushing related. North of Fairbanks, on the west side of the road, we've got hundreds of miles of mushing trails just out of the backyard. I like to say that the ridges that you see in the background here, we're able to go up and down those, and we can access that right from this point.
Yeah.
So while in Alaska, do as Alaskans do. And this is your typical outhouse. So we have it located pretty close proximity to the dome. So when we have, -30, -40, and there's a base of, 2.5 feet or so of snow on the ground, we don't have to go too far to use the outdoor facilities. It's a simple 2x4 milled from the lumber back there, and simple configuration. This is my shower. So you have an outdoor shower. It's very rustic. And then, it's very simple put.
It's lovely.
Yeah. So we've had multiple outhouses here, and what I found is that, we just retired one that had a hole, and it was going for like 4 years. So what we're doing right now is a bag system, and while that might not be super attractive, it's cleaned out, maybe once a week and then brought and disposed of, but there is no hole currently. So the bag system I'm comfortable with, and that's
like
what
a
we're gonna
bucket
do.
toilet, basically.
It is like a bucket toilet. It almost would be like, it'd be nice to get a compostable toilet or whatnot, but this is fine. I've been, living a lot worse. I've been camping. I've been doing all sorts of things, and having a sheltered place to go to and, a little primitive shower, like, this is fine. Like, why do we need so much more? We don't.
How do you keep the lights on here? What do you do for a living?
Okay, so it's a common question, and how to sustain this lifestyle. By trade, what I have done and been doing for many years is I'm a remote paramedic. I'm also a bear guard. I've met a couple of other female bear guards here in Alaska, so I pretty much get paid to walk around the woods with a gun and make sure that the bears stay away from the people as they're working and doing their research. That is an amazing job. I'm very, very blessed to have had the opportunity to have done that since about 2014. I've had various jobs.
And some of that is like North Slope stuff, so you're dealing with polar bears.
Yes, so I've worked around the state as a bear guard with black bear, brown bear, grizzly, and polar bears. And every assignment is a little bit different. It's great to meet people from all sorts of walks of life, and to get paid to go hike. Okay, I get paid to go hiking. So those are the remote type of jobs. I also work in wildfire. I've been working in wildfire since 2009, either as a firefighter or as a fire medic. With 33 dogs, primarily by myself right now, what I do is, I had to get creative in that too. I can't leave all the time, so I have to stay. And what I've done is I've opened this up, a number of years ago as a partnership that has changed to where I'm here solo, and I've opened it up to the public. So I welcome people in the summer and in the winter to come and view the dogs, to learn the history of dog sledding and what this lifestyle is all about. I get folks that travel from all different parts of the globe that will specifically come here to see this type of dog, or they will come to learn about the Alaskan lifestyle. Meet and greet with the dogs, to take a ride either on an ATV or a sled, and just get a little experience of what Alaska is like on a homestead. So everything is built here by hand with the labor of love.
So if somebody watching was going to be in Alaska and wanted to come visit you in the winter or summer, do you have a website or a place of contact where people could get in touch with you?
Yes, so this is Howling Bay Kennel, and the website is www.howlingbaykennel.com. We're also on Facebook as well, and there's some updates and whatnot posted on Facebook underneath Howling Bay Kennel. But we do accept volunteers, and then people that are interested in learning about this and a little bit more about dog mushing. I'm always open to teaching somebody if they have the enthusiasm and the respect and the willingness to learn.
Guys, this has been amazing. You've been amazing. Thank you so much. I can't wait to come back next year and see the progress. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one. This is Girl in the Woods. She gone. Don't forget to get outside and get happy.